You step onto another world. You have exactly 1 day to survive. Each planet waits with its own method of killing you. What melts your spacecraft on one world might be the least deadly threat on another. The rules of survival change completely. Your body wasn't designed for any of these places. Your equipment was built for Earth conditions that no longer apply. Before we begin, drop a comment about which planet terrifies you most. I read every response and they help shape future explorations. If you enjoy these survival scenarios, subscribe. But only if you genuinely want more journeys to the edge of human endurance. Tonight, we start with hell itself. Venus is waiting. Your heat shield glows white-hot. The descent takes longer than expected. Through your porthole, you watch yellowish clouds part slowly. The ground approaches through the haze. Then the hull starts changing. Metal panels designed for space begin softening. They droop like candle wax under a blowtorch. The landing legs bend as heat soaks through every surface. Your instruments read temperatures that could melt lead. The atmospheric pressure climbs. It keeps rising past anything your gauges were built to read. Your spacecraft creaks. Bolts loosen as metal expands beyond its limits. Panels buckle inward. The hull surrenders piece by piece to heat that never stops. You land in a vehicle that's already half destroyed. The airlock seal hisses. Your suit activates every pressure system at once. Warning lights blink as external sensors register impossible readings. The atmosphere outside weighs down with crushing force. Moving feels like swimming through concrete. Your joints resist every motion. Lifting your arm requires enormous effort. The pressure pushes against every surface of your suit. Your ribs ache as your chest fights to expand. Each breath becomes deliberate work. Your lungs struggle against air that wants to collapse them. Blood circulation changes as your heart pumps against pressure no human cardiovascular system was built to handle. Suit seams stretch visibly. Metal joints groan. Your life support computer switches to emergency protocols without being asked. Standing upright becomes an act of defiance against an atmosphere determined to compress you smaller. A filter light blinks red. You check your helmet display. Atmospheric analysis shows concentrated sulfuric acid in the air around you. Not just traces. It's dense enough to eat through metal with time. The first drops hit your visor. They sizzle on contact. Tiny holes appear where the acid touches. Your suit's outer layer begins showing spots where the protective coating bubbles and peels away. The smell reaches you despite your filtration systems. Sharp, chemical, wrong. Your gloves start feeling warm. The acid works its way through microscopic gaps in the material. A small hole opens near your thumb. You watch it grow as more acid finds the weakness. Replacement filters cycle faster than designed. Your suit runs through backup systems. Emergency protocols activate as your protection slowly dissolves around you. The rain doesn't stop. Each drop that lands begins another small chemical reaction. Your equipment becomes a countdown timer measuring how long your barriers can hold. Acid victory feels inevitable. Your cooling unit fan stutters. Internal temperature readings climb past normal operating range. Sweat forms inside your suit but doesn't evaporate. It collects in pools against your skin. The humidity creates a personal sauna with no escape. Your body tries every cooling mechanism available. Blood vessels dilate near the skin. Your heart rate increases to pump more coolant through your system. But the external heat overwhelms everything your physiology can do. The suit's cooling coils work harder. They cycle coolant faster and faster until the pump motor overheats. Warning sounds echo inside your helmet as backup systems engage. Then those start failing too. Heat exhaustion arrives in stages. Nausea hits first. Dizziness follows as your brain struggles with temperatures it was never meant to handle. Your hands shake slightly as fine motor control begins degrading. Sweat stops forming. Your body has given up on cooling and switches to survival mode. Core temperature rises beyond safe limits. The heat wins without ever breaking. Your helmet light cuts through yellow fog. The beam reaches only a few steps before disappearing into thick atmosphere. No horizon exists. No up or down reference points. The landscape blends into a featureless yellow void in every direction. Your compass spins freely. Magnetic fields here don't match Earth patterns. North means nothing. Your GPS shows error messages as satellites become unreachable through the dense atmosphere. You take a step forward, then another. But forward toward what? The ground beneath your feet feels solid but provides no directional cues. Every footstep lands on the same featureless rock surface. The panic starts as a small flutter in your chest. Your breathing quickens as you realize you have no way to navigate back to your landing pod. The yellow fog swallows your light. Distance becomes impossible to judge. You stop moving entirely. Standing still feels safer than walking deeper into a maze with no walls and no exit signs. Navigation dies in the endless yellow twilight. You step out of your pod. Your foot meets nothing. Not rock, not metal, not any surface that can hold weight. Just thick atmosphere that swallows your leg like heavy fog. You drop immediately. The fall starts gently. Your body sinks through layers of gas that feel almost solid at first. Then the descent accelerates. Wind rushes past your helmet as you plummet through clouds that stretch endlessly below. Your altimeter spins wildly. Numbers climb backward as you sink deeper into an atmosphere with no bottom. No ground waits below to stop your fall. Just more gas, denser and hotter with each passing mile. The realization hits harder than any impact. There is no landing, no surface to reach, no moment when falling will end and walking can begin. Your body becomes a permanent projectile in an infinite sky. Your knees buckle without warning. Standing requires effort that your legs can't provide. Your body weighs twice what it should. Every muscle fights against gravity that pulls with relentless force. Your spine compresses under the extra weight. Vertebrae press together as your skeletal system struggles to support mass it was never designed to carry. Each breath becomes heavy work. Your diaphragm pushes against ribs that feel like they're being pressed down by invisible hands. Your heart pounds as it pumps blood through vessels squeezed by gravitational pressure. Your arms hang at your sides, heavy and useless. Lifting them feels like bench pressing your own body mass. Simple movements become impossible tasks. Walking transforms into controlled falling. Each step threatens to collapse your legs entirely. Your joints ache from supporting weight they can't handle. Gravity wins every battle against your body. Your depth gauge reads impossible numbers. The atmosphere around you grows thicker with each mile of descent. Gas that started light becomes dense as liquid. Pressure builds against every surface of your suit. Your blood chemistry begins changing. Nitrogen dissolves into your bloodstream like carbonation in soda. The gas builds up in your tissues as pressure forces it into solution. Bubbles form in your joints first. Tiny pockets of gas that pop and crackle as you move. Your elbows and knees feel like Rice Krispies soaking in milk. The fizzing spreads to your bloodstream. Microscopic bubbles flow through your veins. Your circulation carries nitrogen foam instead of clean oxygen. Your brain receives blood that sparkles with dissolved gas. Decompression sickness sets in while you're still falling. Your body becomes a shaken champagne bottle waiting to explode from the inside. Pressure makes your blood into poison. The storm wall appears like a moving mountain. Clouds spin in a spiral larger than your home planet. Wind hits your body with the force of a freight train. You tumble helplessly through air moving faster than any hurricane Earth has ever produced. Your suit tears along the seams. Fabric designed for space fails completely against wind that flings you with casual violence. Metal joints bend past their breaking points. You spin end over end through the storm. Up and down lose all meaning as the wind throws you in directions that don't exist. Your inner ear gives up trying to track orientation. Debris fills the air around you. Chunks of ice and frozen gas slam into your helmet. Each impact cracks the visor a little more. Spiderweb fractures spread across your view. The storm doesn't end. It just carries you deeper into its heart, where wind speeds increase beyond measurement. Your body becomes part of the debris field it creates. Wind strips away everything except the fall. Your oxygen warning chirps softly. The atmosphere around you contains no breathable gas, just hydrogen and helium that your lungs can't process. Your suit's recycling system works harder as it filters air that wants to kill you. Each breath brings contamination. Trace gases seep through micro-tears in your filtration system. Methane finds its way into your air supply. Your head starts feeling light as toxins accumulate. Your body tries to extract oxygen from gas that contains none. Your lungs work overtime, pulling nothing useful from each inhalation. Carbon dioxide builds up as your system can't complete the exchange. The poisoning happens gradually. First dizziness, then nausea as your blood chemistry goes wrong. Your vision blurs at the edges as your brain receives contaminated fuel. Your backup air supply hisses as it activates. But backup won't last long enough to matter in an endless fall through poison sky. Suffocation comes slowly in an ocean of toxic air. A thermometer inside your suit reads normal. You step onto Mercury's surface as the sun hangs directly overhead. The ground beneath your boots radiates heat that pushes through your suit's insulation. Your internal temperature gauge starts climbing immediately. Then the sun begins setting. The temperature drops like a stone thrown off a cliff. Your suit's heating system kicks in as the surface beneath you transitions from furnace to freezer in minutes. Ice crystals form on your visor as your breath fogs the helmet interior. Your body shivers uncontrollably. Blood vessels contract to preserve core heat. Your fingers and toes go numb as circulation retreats from your extremities. The swing never stabilizes. Heat flips to cold, then flips again. Your thermal regulation cannot catch up. Your body becomes a prisoner of Mercury's thermal chaos. A small pebble bounces off your shoulder. You look up to see the black sky filled with tiny lights. They are not stars. They are rocks falling straight in. No air turns them into sparks before impact. Each speck grows larger as it closes the distance. Your helmet rings like a bell as a marble-sized meteor strikes the top. The impact sends vibrations through your skull. A spiderweb crack blooms in your visor where the rock hit. More impacts follow. Your suit takes hit after hit from space debris. Nothing burns up on the way down. Each strike weakens your protection a little more. A fist-sized rock punches through your suit's shoulder panel. Emergency foam sprays to seal the breach, but more holes appear faster than it can cure. You become a human mark in a cosmic impact field with no place to hide. Solar radiation alarms scream inside your helmet. The sun hangs in the sky like an angry eye. It feels 7 times brighter than anything you remember on Earth. Your suit's radiation shielding activates every protective system available. Your skin tingles beneath the suit as radiation pushes through your protection. The sensation starts as warmth, then becomes burning that spreads across your back and arms. Cell damage begins immediately. Your DNA takes hits from particles that cut straight through your body. Nausea builds as radiation sickness starts its work. Your suit's cooling system struggles against heat that can soften metal. Sweat evaporates instantly in the low humidity. Your body becomes a solar collector with no way to dissipate the energy it absorbs. Even your blood grows hot as radiation cooks you from the inside out. Your watch shows Earth time that means nothing. A Mercury day lasts longer than a Mercury year. The sun creeps across the sky so slowly it seems stuck in place. Day and night stop being signals your body can trust. Your circadian rhythms collapse entirely. Your brain expects darkness that never comes or daylight that never breaks. Sleep becomes impossible as your internal clock slips out of sync. Confusion sets in as your sense of time dissolves. Minutes feel like hours. Hours stretch into something that will not end. Your body cannot regulate itself without the day-night cycle it evolved to expect. Your biological systems begin shutting down one by one. Hormone production goes haywire. Your immune system weakens as your body forgets when to be alert and when to rest. Time becomes your enemy in a place where it barely moves. Your backup air tank empties with a soft hiss. Primary life support failed earlier after too many impacts damaged too many systems. Your breathing becomes shallow as you try to conserve what little oxygen remains in your emergency reserve. Each breath must be earned. Thin inhales leave you dizzy. Your brain starts shutting down non-essential functions as oxygen levels drop. Carbon dioxide builds up in your bloodstream. Your vision narrows to a tunnel as your body prioritizes blood flow to your brainstem. Your hands shake as fine motor control disappears. The final breath tastes metallic. Your lungs extract nothing useful from air that no longer contains what you need to survive. Suffocation comes quietly in the vacuum-thin air of the closest planet to hell. Consciousness fades like Mercury's non-existent atmosphere. Your pressure suit seals with a mechanical click. You step onto red soil that crunches beneath your boots. The atmosphere around you contains almost nothing. Your suit's pressure gauge shows readings that make your blood vessels expand. Your skin tingles as blood flow changes. Capillaries dilate under pressure that's too low to keep liquids stable. Dissolved gases in your bloodstream start forming tiny bubbles. The sensation spreads through your body like carbonation. Your joints pop and crack as nitrogen comes out of solution. Your blood literally begins to fizz inside your veins. Without your suit's protection, your saliva would boil on your tongue. The water in your tears would vaporize before they could fall. Your body becomes a pressure cooker in reverse. Mars turns your blood into soda water. Ice crystals form on your visor. The temperature reads colder than any winter you've experienced. Your suit's heating elements work constantly against cold that seeps through every seal. Your breath fogs the helmet interior despite the climate control. Your muscles contract to generate warmth. Shivering becomes involuntary exercise that burns through your energy reserves. Your fingers grow stiff inside insulated gloves that can't quite keep the cold away. Blood circulation slows as your body prioritizes keeping vital organs warm. Your extremities go numb first. Frostbite begins its quiet work on your toes despite protective footwear. The cold never retreats. It waits outside your suit like a patient predator. Every breath you take robs heat from your core as your lungs warm the frigid air. Your body becomes a heat generator fighting a losing battle against an entire frozen planet. Carbon dioxide sensors flash red warnings. The thin atmosphere around you contains mostly gas that will kill you. Your breathing system filters what little air exists, but contamination seeps through micro-tears in your equipment. Your blood chemistry changes as toxic gas accumulates. Carbon dioxide poisoning starts with headaches that pound behind your eyes. Your vision blurs as your brain struggles with contaminated oxygen. Each breath brings more poison into your system. Your body can't process atmosphere that contains no useful air. Dizziness sets in as your blood carries gas that suffocates you from within. Your lungs work harder to extract nothing beneficial from air that wants you dead. Respiratory distress builds as your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. The atmosphere becomes a slow-acting poison that you must breathe to survive. A wall of red dust blots out the sun. The storm moves across the landscape like a living thing. Dust particles fill the air so thickly that visibility drops to zero. Your helmet lights illuminate only swirling red chaos. Wind carries particles sandblast your suit's exterior. Tiny grains work their way into every joint and seal. Your equipment starts making grinding sounds as dust infiltrates moving parts. The storm lasts for hours without weakening. Solar panels on your equipment become useless under layers of dust that block all light. Power levels drop as your life support runs on battery backup. Navigation becomes impossible in the red blindness. Every direction looks identical through the storm. Your GPS system can't lock onto satellites through the dust cloud. You wander blindly through a planet that has erased itself from existence. Your legs feel strangely light. Walking requires less effort than your muscles expect. Each step bounces you higher than intended. Your body hasn't learned to move in gravity that pulls with only about a third of Earth's pull. Your bones begin losing density immediately. Calcium leaches from your skeleton as your body adapts to carrying less weight. Your muscles start atrophying without the resistance they evolved to expect. Balance becomes unpredictable. Your inner ear sends signals that don't match the reduced gravitational pull. Simple movements become awkward as your body forgets how to coordinate in lighter gravity. Blood circulation changes as your heart doesn't need to pump as hard against the weaker pull. Your cardiovascular system begins deconditioning within hours. Your skeleton crumbles silently as Mars steals the weight that keeps your bones strong. You duck as something whistles past your helmet. A chunk of ice the size of your fist streaks by at impossible speed. The debris leaves a vapor trail in the thin environment around Saturn's rings. Your proximity detector screams warnings as more fragments approach. The beautiful rings become a corridor of flying ice. Each sparkling particle moves faster than you can track. They slam into your suit with metallic pings that ring through your bones. A marble-sized chunk punches through your shoulder panel. The impact spins you around and sends you tumbling through the debris field. Emergency foam seals the breach, but more holes appear faster than your suit can repair them. Your visor cracks as another fragment hits dead center. Spiderweb fractures spread across your view while ice crystals keep swirling past your face. Beauty kills with mathematical precision in Saturn's frozen corridor. Your density detector flickers between readings. The gas giant beneath you has density lower than water. Your body becomes heavier than the planet you're trying to land on. Instead of sinking to solid ground, you float in thick atmosphere that can't support your weight. Your descent stops abruptly. You hang suspended in gas that acts like thick soup. Swimming motions do nothing. Your arms and legs push against atmosphere that offers no purchase for movement. Panic sets in as you realize there's no up or down in this strange limbo. The gas above you looks identical to the gas below. Direction becomes meaningless when everything around you has the same consistency. Your body becomes trapped between floating and falling in a planet that can't decide whether to hold you or let you go. Frost forms inside your helmet despite the heating system. Your breath crystallizes before it reaches the recycling filters. Tiny snowflakes drift past your eyes inside what should be a controlled environment. The cold penetrates seals that were designed for space. Your saliva freezes on your tongue. The moisture in your eyes turns to ice crystals that scratch your corneas when you blink. Your nasal passages burn as tissue freezes from the inside out. Blood circulation slows in your extremities. Your fingers stop responding to nerve signals. Frostbite works its way through insulated gloves that can't compete with cold this absolute. Your body temperature drops past the point where shivering helps. Hypothermia shuts down non-essential systems one by one. Cold this deep freezes the water in your cells solid. Your navigation compass spins wildly without stopping. Saturn's moons pull your body in different directions simultaneously. Each satellite creates its own gravitational field that competes with the others. Your inner ear gives up trying to track which way is down. Vertigo hits like a physical blow. The horizon tilts and rotates as competing gravity fields tug at your organs. Your stomach lurches as your brain receives conflicting signals about orientation. Your body doesn't know which direction to fall. The gravitational confusion makes every movement unpredictable. You reach for a handhold that seems to move away from your grasp. Balance becomes impossible when multiple moons argue over which way your feet should point. Your vestibular system overloads, trying to process gravity that comes from everywhere at once. You become a spinning top with no center. Your personal radiation badge changes color without warning. Saturn's magnetic field accelerates charged particles to deadly speeds. They slice through your suit's shielding like it's made of paper. Your dosimeter clicks frantically as radiation levels spike beyond safe limits. Your skin tingles as particles penetrate your body. Cell damage happens faster than your DNA can repair itself. Your immune system starts attacking healthy tissue that's been corrupted by radiation. Nausea builds as radiation sickness takes hold. Your white blood cell count plummets as your bone marrow stops producing new cells. Internal bleeding starts in your gums and shows in your urine. Your body becomes a knot of radiation damage and failing repair mechanisms. Cancer begins growing in multiple organs simultaneously as your cells stop keeping order. Radiation poisoning turns your own biology against you. Your internal temperature sensor flashes warning signals. The cold here goes beyond anything your body was designed to survive. Your core temperature drops degree by degree past the point where human physiology can function. Blood flow to your extremities stops entirely. Your fingers and toes turn white, then blue, then black as tissue begins dying from the inside out. Frostbite spreads up your arms and legs as the damage climbs. Your heart slows as the cold reaches your chest cavity. Each beat becomes weaker as cardiac muscle stiffens in the absolute freeze. Your breathing grows shallow as your lungs struggle to process air cold enough to shatter glass. Cell walls rupture as the water inside them expands into ice crystals. Your organs become solid masses of frozen tissue that can no longer support life. Your body transforms into a statue made of your own frozen blood. You grab desperately for anything solid as the world tilts beneath you. Uranus spins on its side. Gravity shifts direction as the planet rotates. What felt like down becomes sideways, then up, then sideways again in an endless cycle. Your inner ear sends confused signals to your brain. The horizon spins in directions that shouldn't exist. Vertigo hits hard as your balance system overloads completely. Objects that were resting on surfaces suddenly slide away. Gravity keeps changing where it pulls. Your equipment tumbles through the air as the planet's bizarre rotation redefines the meaning of falling. Your stomach lurches with each gravitational shift. Nausea builds as your body tries to adapt to a world that can't decide where its center should be. You become a pinball bouncing through gravity that changes direction. Your vision blurs as methane seeps through damaged seals. The atmosphere around you contains gases that numb your body and mind. Your breathing apparatus can't filter out every trace of the toxic mixture. Contamination builds up in your bloodstream with each breath. Hallucinations begin as visual distortions. Colors become more vivid than reality allows. Your peripheral vision fills with movement that isn't actually there. Shapes morph and shift as your brain processes corrupted sensory input. Your hands look strange and disconnected from your body. Distance becomes impossible to judge as spatial reasoning fails. Objects appear closer or farther than they actually are. The poisoning progresses to full delusions. You see people who aren't there calling your name. Your radio crackles with voices speaking languages that don't exist. Reality dissolves as methane rewrites the chemistry of thought itself. Your solar panels show no energy generation for hours. The sun is a distant point and daylight barely registers. The tilt can lock a hemisphere into night for years. You've landed during the hemisphere's eternal winter night. Darkness presses against your equipment like a physical weight. Your helmet lights illuminate only a few feet before the dark takes over. Battery levels drop steadily with no way to recharge. Your circadian rhythms collapse as your brain searches for light cues that never arrive. Depression sets in as the dark never breaks. Your mind starts creating its own light in the form of hallucinations just to escape the sensory deprivation. Eternal night leaves less hope with every hour. Your radiation shield indicator flatlines without warning. Your readings show almost no magnetic shielding overhead. High-energy particles from deep space slam directly into your body. Your protection systems fail against impacts they were never designed to handle. Cellular damage begins immediately as radiation tears through your DNA. Your body's repair mechanisms can't keep up with destruction happening at the molecular level. Genetic code unravels faster than it can be rebuilt. Your skin reddens and blisters as radiation burns penetrate from the inside out. Blood cells die en masse as your bone marrow stops producing replacements. Internal bleeding starts in organs you can't feel failing. Cancer begins growing in multiple locations simultaneously. Your immune system targets healthy tissue that's been corrupted by radiation exposure. Your body turns against itself. Cosmic radiation turns you into a walking biological disaster zone. Your anemometer shatters as wind speeds climb beyond measurement. Atmospheric currents seem faster than sound itself. The air around you turns into a force that tears through everything in its path. Your suit's exterior fabric shreds like tissue paper in a hurricane. You tumble helplessly through wind that treats your body like debris. Each gust throws you in random directions with enough force to break bones. Your helmet rings like a bell as you slam into invisible walls of moving air. The supersonic wind creates a constant roar that penetrates your suit's insulation. Your eardrums throb as sound waves hit you from every direction. The noise becomes a physical presence that shakes your organs. Your body becomes a projectile in a storm that moves faster than anything you can track. Your helmet's brightest setting illuminates almost nothing. Neptune orbits so far from the sun that daylight becomes theoretical. The light out here barely feeds your gear. Your equipment struggles to gather enough glow to function. Darkness presses against your consciousness like a living thing. Your eyes strain to process photons that barely exist. Visual input becomes so limited that your brain starts creating its own images to fill the void. Solar panels register power levels that approach zero. Battery reserves drain steadily with no way to recharge. Your life support systems begin rationing energy for critical functions only. The psychological weight of absolute isolation clamps down with every breath. You float alone in a darkness so complete it feels like being buried alive in space. Sunlight becomes a fairy tale in the permanent midnight at the edge of everything. Sharp impacts pepper your helmet like machine gun fire. The atmosphere around you can rain precious stones formed under impossible pressure. Diamonds the size of raindrops fall with terminal velocity that turns them into cutting tools. Each crystal that hits your suit carves tiny grooves in the protective surface. Your visor develops a spider web of cuts as diamond fragments find their mark. The transparent aluminum begins failing as microscopic gems work their way through layers designed to stop micrometeorites. Blood appears on your forehead where a particularly sharp diamond found its way through a crack. The wound stings as more crystalline fragments keep striking. Your suit's integrity warnings flash red as holes multiply faster than sealant can repair them. The most valuable rain in the solar system becomes the most lethal precipitation you've ever encountered. Your communications array shows no signal bars. Earth exists as a theoretical concept at distances that make radio waves meaningless. The time delay for any message exceeds the span of your entire mission. Help becomes impossible when asking for it takes longer than surviving without it. Isolation presses against your sanity like a physical weight. Your voice echoes inside your helmet with no possibility of reaching another human being. The radio static becomes your only companion in the endless dark. Your emergency beacon broadcasts into space that swallows signals like a black hole. No rescue mission could reach you in less than decades. You float alone at the frontier of human exploration with no way home. The distance between you and civilization becomes measured in geological time scales. Your internal temperature fluctuates wildly despite your suit's climate control. Neptune generates its own heat from something deep inside. The planet's weather changes without warning as that warmth surges against the cold of deep space. Temperature swings hit faster than your equipment can compensate. Your suit's cooling system works overtime as sudden heat waves penetrate your protection. Then the cold returns with vengeance that makes your previous encounters with low temperature seem tropical. The unpredictable climate shifts destroy your body's ability to regulate core temperature. Your organs struggle to function as internal heat battles external freeze in a fight your body can't settle. Weather patterns shift faster than your survival systems can adapt. Hot becomes cold, becomes scalding, becomes frozen in cycles that give your body no time to stabilize. Neptune's mood swings rewrite the rules of survival moment by moment. Your timer counts backwards faster on some worlds than others. Venus crushes and melts you quickly. The pressure and heat work together like efficient executioners. Your suit fails in predictable stages as metal softens and seals burst. Jupiter takes longer but feels more violent. The endless fall gives you time to feel every system failing. Your blood fizzes for hours as pressure builds. Death comes slowly through a dozen small disasters. Mercury alternates between cooking and freezing you in cycles. Each temperature swing weakens your equipment a little more. The pattern becomes predictable even as it kills you. Mars offers the longest survival time but the most psychological torture. You have time to watch your body adapt to conditions that will kill you anyway. Neptune grants you the illusion of time while stealing hope faster than any other world. Your life support computer runs simulations of different planetary deaths. On Venus, you would die compressed and cooked. The pressure squeezes while acid eats through your protection. Your body fails from multiple causes at once. Jupiter's end feels more like drowning in thick air that never ends. You fall forever while your blood slowly poisons itself. The dying takes longer but feels more helpless. Neptune kills you with isolation and cold while diamonds slice through your equipment. The end comes wrapped in beauty that makes the dying feel almost poetic. Mercury offers death by extremes. You burn and freeze in cycles that prevent your body from adapting to either temperature. The contrast becomes the killer. Your computer identifies Venus as the most efficient executioner in the solar system. Your equipment specifications manual shows planetary survival ratings. Standard suits last 18 minutes on Venus before critical failure. The acid and pressure work faster than any repair system can compensate. Even the best protection becomes useless quickly. Jupiter offers no solid ground to rest on, so survival becomes measured in falling time rather than standing time. Your suit might protect you for hours during the endless descent into crushing atmosphere. Mercury's temperature swings destroy seals faster than constant heat or cold alone. The expansion and contraction cycles wear out materials in ways they were never designed to handle. Mars gives you the longest equipment survival time but slowly drains your resources. Your suit works perfectly while your body slowly breaks down from the inside. Suit manufacturers never designed protection for worlds this hostile to human life. Your nerve endings register unique sensations of dying on different planets. Venus death feels like being crushed and burned simultaneously. Your skin tingles as pressure builds while heat penetrates through failing insulation. The pain comes from everywhere at once. Jupiter dying tastes metallic as nitrogen bubbles form in your bloodstream. Your joints pop and crackle like breakfast cereal. The sensation spreads through your body in a fizzing wave. Neptune death feels like freezing while being cut by tiny diamonds. Your skin goes numb while crystalline fragments create thousands of small wounds. Cold and cutting blend into a single sensation. Mercury alternates between burning and freezing so quickly your nervous system can't decide which signal to send. Your body experiences both extremes simultaneously. Each world kills you with its own signature sensation that no Earth experience could prepare you for. Time moves differently when you're dying on different worlds. Mars gives you time to think about your situation. Every breath becomes deliberate. You have time to understand exactly how your body is failing. The slow death offers too much awareness. Venus compresses your dying into a blur that feels stretched out. Each second brings new system failures. Time warps under pressure until moments become long stretches of simultaneous destruction. Jupiter stretches your death across hours of falling through atmosphere that never ends. Time loses meaning when there's no ground to mark your progress toward death. Mercury fragments time into hot and cold cycles. Your death happens in temperature-based chapters rather than consistent progression. Each swing brings you closer to failure. The speed of dying changes how much you suffer through the process of not surviving.